Good morning, friends. We're just getting breakfast ready here. I just sliced up some of this sourdough cinnamon raisin bread, so that's there ready to be toasted, as well as some English muffins, so the kids can just come and make their own breakfast, but I sometimes just set it out, make it a little bit easier. They like to have either cream cheese or honey on the cinnamon raisin bread. English muffins, whatever they'll put on toast, they'll put onto the English muffins. That's how we're getting started with breakfast. And also, first thing this morning, I've got to get some bread in the oven. And this is a special loaf I'm making. It has been a long time since I have made a loaf of chocolate sourdough, but that's what's going in the oven this morning. So this is what we'll have actually for lunch today. Just gonna cover it with flour, kind of spread that around.
Wow.
Yeah, Elijah's just reminding me that last time I baked it for too long.
Well,
yeah, the recipe says to bake for 20 minutes with the lid on and then 30 with the lid off, but I think I'm not gonna go that long because I do remember that, Elijah. So I'm gonna have to keep
charred, and then it wasn't the best because.
Okay, I'm gonna just have to keep an eye on it this time. All right, just a nice, simple pattern. It looks like it's gonna be like a really sweet bread, but it's not super sweet. It just has just a little sweetness. There's just a few chocolate chips, some cocoa powder, and just like, I think a couple tablespoons of brown sugar. I was thinking of having avocado toast for breakfast this morning because I just thought that sounded good. Avocado and a fried egg on top of an English muffin. One of my favorites. So good, and I do have avocados in the fridge right now, which I don't typically have. Anyway, all that to say, I was thinking about it. Well, for one, the kids ate basically all the English muffins, and then I realized, that's right, I wanted to do some eggs on the side with our chocolate bread this afternoon for lunch. So, changed my plan and just having my good old faithful morning smoothie. Okay, I have 20 seconds. I'm waiting for my oven to beep that the chocolate bread is done. I have almond milk, cottage cheese, frozen strawberries, collagen, and whey protein powder. That's my breakfast today, and this bread is just about to come out of the oven. I'll show you when it comes out. Our kitchen has been smelling amazing for the past 40 minutes with this baking. Like, just smells so chocolatey and good. Now the tricky thing with this recipe is how can I tell that it's completely baked through? It has like the nice sound to it, nice little bounce.
Those chocolate chips?
But, yeah, those are chocolate chips. So whatever's on the top, sometimes the chocolate chips are kind of yucky on the top because they're burnt, but inside it'll be delicious. But you know, you can't tell because it's so dark already. But I think we're gonna leave it at that. I baked it for 20 minutes, lid on, 20 minutes lid off, and hopefully it's baked through. I do need to figure out a good time to bake this for my oven. So we'll try this today, and then if we need to adjust next time, then we'll do that. And now just poured myself a coffee. Do you see all that steam coming up? In a recent vlog, I shared this food dehydrator we had gotten, and we tried it. I made some dried apples. They turned out amazing, and they disappeared. Like, they disappeared in a day. So, sorry, I'm just turning on the iPad here so that Zara can get her math done. Okay, it's on, it's ready. So I'm going to make some dried apples again today. I believe last time I did it, I did 8 apples and it filled up all the shelves in there. So this is by the brand London Sunshine. It has all these different racks as well as this little tray on top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 racks you can do. And then down here is this plastic sheet that will catch any drippings, and this is also what you will use if you want to make a fruit leather, which I am planning to try soon. The kids keep asking me when I'm going to try making fruit leather, but for today I'm just going to do some more dried apples. You want to slice the apples about 1/4 inch thick. So I just, you know, estimate that. But you do want to make sure they're a consistent size so that they're all done at the same time. And then you just lay them out in a single layer on your sheet. I got this full of apple slices. Let's see, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 apples there. And I'm just gonna set the temperature to 140 degrees. The time for 6 hours. So super simple. I was gifted this food dehydrator, which is super fun because I've been wanting one for a while. I used to have one years ago, but it did not work nearly as well. It was not so modern and sleek. It was what I had gotten secondhand and it just did not work well. So I'm excited to have this one. I do have a coupon code for you guys if you want to get one for yourself. I'll have that coupon code down here and all the info down below in the description box as well. The kids are all outside. It is cold this morning, like minus 18 Celsius outside. That's what it was first thing. Okay, now it's up to minus 12, so not quite so bad, but still cold. And typically by this time I would be calling the kids back in to do school. I'd have to help them with the rest of their morning stuff. Zara did come in, as you see, but everybody else is still outside. And so I'm not gonna call them in because how much they had to get bundled up to go out there. I feel like this is probably the one time they're gonna go outside. So I'm gonna let them stay out as long as they want to. So since they're all out there, I am actually gonna get started making supper as well before I start making lunch. Busy morning in the kitchen. I'm gonna make chili for dinner, so just really easy, basically a dump and go recipe. So gonna get that going right now while I have a chance. Okay, just kidding. I bought all the tomato ingredients on the weekend to make sure that I could make chili today. Totally forgot about kidney beans. I usually have kidney beans in the freezer, like I bulk cook them in the Instant Pot. I buy the dry beans, I cook them. So, oh, never mind. I don't even have any dry beans. Often I have canned kidney beans as backup, but I used those canned kidney beans as backup last time I made chili. I thought maybe I had a bag that I could cook up and just cook chili on the stove later today, but I am completely out of kidney beans. Okay, well, I don't know, guys. I'm gonna have to think about this now. What am I gonna make for dinner? Do not love this. I love to know ahead of time, like here's what's on the meal plan. So now I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit, but I do have ground beef sitting out, so something with ground beef. We've moved on to lunch here and I still have to think about what we're gonna have for dinner. Also, the food dehydrator does give off a little bit of a hum, so you might hear that in the background for the rest of this video. I'm curious to see how this bread is because I have a feeling it's not quite baked through in the middle. We'll find out. The way it sank a little bit after baking just makes me think maybe it's underbaked, but I mean, so far so good. We just have to get more to the middle and find out then, but there's a piece that looks pretty good, eh? Okay, I'll admit, I was wrong. That was a perfect bake. Now I know. 20 minutes lid on, 20 minutes lid off, and that's what works for my oven. We are going to just butter these. Zara, why don't you get the butter out? You can get started on that. I just asked the kids whether we should do fried eggs or scrambled eggs, and they're all telling me their opinions, but Zara is my lunch helper and she voted for fried eggs. So we'll fry up. How many eggs should we do? I typically will have 3. Elijah, do you want 2? 1. Charity, 1 egg or 2?
1.
Okay, well, 8? Simeon will probably have 2. Maybe I'll do 10. And if we have leftover, then we have leftover. Zara, it takes a long time to do your tasks when you're reading as you do them. Your feet are freezing? Come warm up your feet by the freezer or by the heater over here.
Well, when I start to kind of pop, it's
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because I did that one time and it died.
Sometimes if your feet are really cold and you come in and they warm up, they hurt a little bit as they're warming up.
I did that one and then it's very hot.
Yeah, I know. But you guys stayed out there for a long time. That was like an hour and a half just about. I'm impressed. Oh boy. What's happening? Kids are just finishing up a couple more things here before we eat. We're just about done. But here's what our lunch looks like. The butter was still a little bit cold. It came out of the fridge this morning, but it was a little tricky to spread. But all the pieces are buttered, fried eggs, and we'll have bananas. I decided what to make for dinner. The kids were trying to convince me to make sloppy joes, and I did consider it for a minute, but I really don't feel like making buns this afternoon to go with the sloppy joes. I just want to put something in the slow cooker and it cook all afternoon and maybe kind of done in the kitchen until dinner time. So Charity's behind me. She is chopping up, no, she's not chopping, she's peeling potatoes and carrots. And I'm going to do a, what was it again? A hamburger beef stew. I have very limited counter space, and with the food dehydrator on the countertop, it's even worse. So I don't have much space to be working here. Now, I think most times I use the food dehydrator, I'll actually just keep it on the floor because it's a pretty big, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a pretty big appliance. With showing it to you guys today, I thought it made more sense to have it on the countertop, but I do need to have more space available to me. Charity, you're done peeling. Oh, that was really quick work. Good job. All right, now it's my turn just to get a whole lot of chopping done. The recipe I'm using, which I will share down below in the description box, I'm doing about, I don't measure ingredients typically for cooking. Baking, absolutely, but cooking, not so much. But I'm gonna do about a 1.5 recipe. Diced tomatoes, and some of each of these sauces, the Worcestershire sauce and soy sauce. Now everything is in here except for the frozen peas. The frozen peas get added a bit later. Lots of things on my kitchen countertops just make me feel like my kitchen is really cluttered. I've got a couple different kinds of sourdough bread here. Of course, the food dehydrator. Can you see how those are coming along? They're getting dry. I was just watching a YouTube video as I did dinner prep. I've got my sourdough, my Instant Pot. This needs to go out to the compost. Some dirty dishes because, you know, no dishwasher life. And that's like all my counter space. It's all full. But dinner's ready, you know? It's right there, ready to go. So I don't actually need to do any more meal prep on the counters this afternoon, so I can be okay with that. Feels good at, you know, 2 o'clock to have basically all of my meal prep done for the day. For snack time, goldfish, yogurt with a side of books. Always reading while snacking. Zara, what are you reading right now? Do you want to show everybody what you're reading?
I got it like 2 years ago from Christmas.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Pigglewiggle.
I read it before.
Nice. You did? Yeah? Charity, what are you reading right now? A Jeanette Oak book. Charity's been loving the Jeanette Oak books lately. Still my go-to afternoon snack, Greek yogurt with crunchy peanut butter and honey. I think I sliced the apples thinner this time because I turned this off about an hour before the timer went, but they just, from the outside, looked like they were ready to go. So they just come off of this tray really nice and easy. There they are. Just gonna get all these off, put them into a sealed, tight container, and I mean really, we'll snack on them the next couple of days and they'll be gone once again. But a nice, healthy snack. Gonna have another coffee here. Usually I have my afternoon coffee in a mug. That's just my habit. But I find that I drink it just so fast because it cools down so quickly and it's gone in no time. So that's what I love my Yeti for, is that it keeps my coffee nice and hot and I can sip it over a longer period of time. Drink a little bit less coffee in the long run because it just lasts me longer. So gonna drink this and then it'll be about time to check on supper, see if the potatoes are all cooked through. Sometimes what I do, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that today. Sometimes what I do, if I started a little bit late, like today, starting it at 2 o'clock, I am going to turn off the slow cook and turn it to saute instead, because then it just starts to simmer and that will get the potatoes quickly cooked through. And then I've got my frozen peas sitting here too. Isn't the Instant Pot awesome? I put it to that saute setting, which it will run for half an hour if I don't turn it off. And it's basically just simmering all the stew in here now. So give it a few minutes and those potatoes will be cooked through. Also, I wasn't quite sure how thick this stew would be. There's no thickener added, no flour or anything added. So I'll show you what I do when I want to thicken something like this. I'm gonna add a few more peas as well. I'm gonna use this soup ladle. Got a few peas there too, that's fine. I'll mostly try to just take broth. And I'm going to get about a cup of broth into my measuring cup. A 1/4 cup of flour. I'll just use a fork to mix that. Now I'll add that back in and it should thicken nicely. We are going to serve some more sourdough bread on the side with this stew. You need some sort of bread with soups and stews, right? At least in this house, that's how we feel. So we'll get that ready. I also wanted to just update you on our chocolate bread from lunch. I didn't mention before showing it earlier that last time I made it, which was a while ago, 2 of the kids did not like it and they were like, you know what, we're gonna try it today, maybe we'll like it this time. I had high hopes, but no, those same 2 kids were like, this isn't very good. Meanwhile, the other 3 loved it, and between them and myself, we ate 2/3 of the loaf. It is so good. I don't get how anyone cannot like it, but yeah. It's always a little bit of a downer when the whole family doesn't like something. It's tricky with a large family, but there are a lot of recipes that we all love, and especially something that I think is a treat like chocolate bread. But alas, not everybody likes it. I am making myself a peppermint tea tonight, and I'm going to end today's full day of food here. Hope you enjoyed watching. I'll share any recipes that I used today down in the description box if you want to try those out. And I'll see you guys next time.